Good evening, Ms. Khyati. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, ma'am?
Absolutely good.
Yeah. So, good evening, all who have joined. Hearty welcome to Extramural Educational Training. To this particular episode offered by Ms. Khyati, HOD of Social Science, Birla Public School. Thank you, ma'am, for offering this particular session. This is exclusive for social science teachers, since many have been asking different questions, queries with regard to the latest CBSE pattern, question pattern, dividing the question into three for science and four for social science, and there are many queries as to how to answer this section wise. So all these queries can be cleared today. Ms. Kathy will be explaining it in detail to you. So let's all put our hands together to welcome Ms. Kathy. And also at the same time, let me introduce her through a short video. Just hold on, please. Here we go. Thank you so much.
It is my privilege to introduce today's resource person, Ms. Khyati Dwarkadas, a veteran educator with 25 years of experience, serving as head of department at Gopi Birla Memorial School. Recognized as an innovation ambassador by the Ministry of Education, her forward-thinking pedagogy has garnered accolades, including the Rotary International Presidential Citation for Community Service. Ms. Khyati is the recipient of numerous awards and honors, including the Lifetime Achievement Award and Innovative Head of Department Award from Education World, the Sushma Swaraj Women Icon Award for Women Empowerment, and the Acharya Chanakya Shikshavid Samman Global Teacher Award and the International Teachers Guild Award. Ms. Khyati is not just an educator but a visionary leader, catalyst for change, and beacon of excellence in education. Hearty welcome, Ms. Khyati. The stage is yours. Please proceed.
Yes, Kathy, ma'am, over to you. Sometimes
Thank you,
I may
sir.
be disconnected because my connection is not stable, but the show must go on, please.
No issues, sir. No issues. Don't worry.
Thank you, thank you.
Just pray that I also remain connected throughout.
Definitely, definitely. So,
So just allow me a moment to share my screen and we'll begin. Okay, a very warm welcome to one and all into today's training program. Basically, we are discussing the new social science question paper pattern, as well as we're going to be checking out on the new circular that we have received from CBSE about how to attempt a paper in particular. So it's a very good guidance for teachers as well as students to whom we have to pass this information on. So we are understanding the new 4-section paper structure for class 10. We will be learning section-wise marking schemes and time allocations. This session should help us to guide our own students on accurate answer presentation techniques and address common mistakes and misconceptions which we normally see in our papers, as well as provide practical strategies for exam preparation. So let's begin. Now this is the most important circular that we have been talking about, and this circular that we can see, CBSE Coord Class 10 Science and Social Science 2025, dated 9th December 2025. And in this circular, they are very categorically saying that from now on, that means the Feb-March 2026 exam onwards, the question paper will be divided into 4 sections. Section A is history, B is geography, C is political science, and D is economics. And thus the sample question papers that have come on to the website have also got these new paper pattern section wise. So when we look at the paper pattern, we are easily now able to see that section A, history, India and the contemporary world. Section B is geography, contemporary India. Section C, political science or democratic politics, what we call it as. And section D, economics, understanding economic development. Each of the 4 sections carries 20 marks. Now in section A, we are seeing these 9 important questions with a different kind. So we have around 4 MCQs in this section. The very first question that you see is a match the following question, and mind you, the options to match the following are matched. They are pre-matched options which are given. The student simply has to pick up the correctly matched option. The second one is a picture question from history. In this particular paper of the SQP, they've given, I think, Tilak or somebody there. I think it's mostly Tilak in that. You have to identify the person. Then there are 2 simple MCQs. They are not any complex MCQs. They are absolutely simple questions. And the correct option needs to be selected. Question 5 is a very short answer question. Now here they have 5A or 5B. Both are 2-mark questions, and the word limit is 40 words for 2 marks. It is very advisable that the students write in the question number 5A or 5B which question they are planning to attempt. This makes it easy for the students to understand and attempt the correct question, and for the evaluators to know exactly which of the 2 options is being attempted. Sometimes it so happens that there are overlapping content that is being tested in the optional question, and students also sometimes get carried away while writing their answers, and it is possible that they mix the answers and write. So if they have not specified 5A or 5B, it becomes very, very difficult for the evaluator to identify the content. All of us know that at the board level, when there are tons of papers being evaluated, it is really, really very difficult for the evaluator to sit and sift through the points to get the correct answer. That only shows lack of confidence on the student's part. Similarly, question 6 is again an optional question, 6A or 6B. And from this also, once more time, the student should ideally write whether they are attempting 6A or 6B. At the same time, we are expecting them to write about a 60-word answer. Mostly 3 points should suffice unless specified otherwise. And question 7 again is a long answer of 120 words for 5 marks. Option A or option B, the student must specify. The case study is the next question. It's either a case study or a case-based question or a source-based question. Could be textual, could be non-textual. And there are 3 sub-questions to the case study, 1 mark, 1 mark and 2 marks. Totally, the question comes for 4 marks. And then we have a history map. There are 10 places given for map work in the board map list, and 2 of those places will come marked, pre-marked on the map. That is place given on the map to write the name. So they actually draw a line and make a dash. The student just has to write the name of that place in the map. Now, since last year we have seen the place where the obedience movement was launched or started, the expected answer is Sabarmati, the place where Dandi March began. You begin from Sabarmati, you end it in Dandi. So the board has only been considering Sabarmati in that case. Ahmedabad is not being considered. Dandi is not being considered, and to our utter surprise, Sabarmati is not on the map list even this year. But the question may or may not come depending on the examiner, on the paper setters. So we need to prepare our students about where is Sabarmati Ashram. Writing Ahmedabad is not fetching any marks. Again, coming to section B of geography, which is 20 marks. Question 10 is a simple MCQ. At question 11, they have given you identify the appropriate option to fill in the empty boxes. So here they've given you a table with question marks in between, and you have to fill in the correct options from those given below. Question 12 is a source-based MCQ where they have sourced a little passage, a few words from whichever geographical source or whichever government source, and there is a question below, and the most likely or unlikely option needs to be selected from there. 13, 14 and 15 again happen to be simple MCQs, and question 16 is a kind of a situation given where the student has to apply his or her understanding. So it's an apply your understanding based question, or the question categorically in the SQP states, based on your understanding, apply your knowledge into whatever situation. That question is not an MCQ, however, it is a full 2-mark question for 40 words. So the student really needs to have clear concepts for these kind of questions. Question 17 is directly a 5-marker, which is a 120-word answer. Again, the student must mention whether they are attempting option A or option B. Let's guide our students to write option 17A or 17B. Then give a title and then write the answer. That makes it easier for the evaluator to be clear about what we are evaluating. Question 18 is a case study or a case-based or source-based question, textual or non-textual. Normally the source would be given in a case-based question if it is non-textual. And one more time, we have 3 sub-questions there for 1 and 2 marks. Totally 4 marks for question 18. And in question 19, we can see a locate and label question for 3 marks there. Now, it is the same India map that the student had to use for history. And in this case, the question very categorically says, on the same outline political map provided to you, locate and label the following. And there in part 1, they are giving you a choice between marking 2 dams. So whenever they give you a dam for marking, it is expected that they draw a river on which the dam is to be located. That's how a map work is to be done. One of the 2 dams is given there in the first part, and in the second part, any 2 out of 3 or 4 options to be done. So the board is being very generous on map choices, but the students have to get their answers correct. Guide the students not to do extra questions. It is a waste of time, and it is again a burden for the evaluator at the board level to sit and check whether the correct number of questions are attempted, whether the correct number of options are selected. Whenever we do a map work, it is mandatory that we mark the correct question numbers in the map. We also put in the correct legend or a key in the map. Use color pencils if possible, otherwise use a black ballpoint pen. You make a wise use of arrows and label using horizontal lines only, don't label diagonally or vertically. That's how we normally take on our basic map markings. Moving to section C, political science. It starts from question number 20. So there they have given you 2 statements and the students had to identify which of the statements were true. These could have been more than 2 statements. They could have been up to 4 statements, and the options would then include only statement 1 is true, only statement 2 is true, or both are true, or both are false, or something of that kind. Depending on the number of statements, these options would be taken forward. Then when you look at question 21, there is a cartoon based picture. In the SQP, they have used the power sharing picture, the German engineering, the car with 2 steering wheels. Actually, they can take even a picture from outside and source it and ask a question based on the concepts taught in the curriculum. Then there is a case given in the next question at question number 22. And they are saying, consider the following case and choose the correct option. And finally, we have 2 statements, assertion and reasoning. And both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Or both are true and R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true and R is false. R is true and A is false. So these are the 4 general options we have for assertion and reasoning. And the students have to read both the statements clearly, understand them, and pick the correct option. Question 24 and 25 are both 2-mark very short answer questions. And both questions need to be answered in 40 words only. Question 26 is a 3-mark short answer question. Question 27 is a long answer question which has a 120 word limit and 5 marks. We expect 5 clear points to be written, and you can see there is an option A or B. So we expect students to write 27A or 27B, whichever one they are attempting, giving a title to the answer. Question 28 is a case-based or source-based question with 3 sub-questions, 1 mark, 1 mark and 2 marks, making it a complete 4-mark question. This brings us to the final section of the paper, section D, which is economics. Question 29 is an MCQ. Question 30 is an inference-based question. So the question clearly gives you this line, what can be inferred about, and they have stated some things there, some facts. So the student has to infer from what is given there. Question 31 and 32 are again simple MCQs. Question 33, as we can see in the sample paper, is a situation-based MCQ, where a situation could be a hypothetical situation, could be a textual situation twisted a bit. So a situation-based MCQ has been given at question 33 with options. Question 34 is a kind of match the following, where they say recognize, choose the option that correctly matches the effects and consequent outcomes of. In this case, the question is on globalization. So based on whatever fact they ask, but this is also likely to be a match the column or a tabular form of a question. Question 35 and 36 as well as 37 in this case are 3 questions of 3 marks each, 60-word answers, short answers. There are no options given here. And question 38 has 2 options, A or B. And one more time, it being a long answer, students are advised to write 38A or 38B, as well as give a caption or a title to the answer and continue writing. Okay, somebody had raised a hand, but we will take the questions only at the end of the session today. I am on 2 devices due to an audio issue, so it will be a little difficult for me to switch to questions in between. Though I would have loved to take them, but please note your questions down. We will take them at the end of the session. Now, when we say we are dividing the paper into 4 sections, and there are 20 mark sections. How are we going to divide our time of 180 minutes? 180 minutes is 3 hours. So technically each section gets about 40 minutes, and 45 minutes you can include for geography because there is map work which requires them to accurately locate, label, color, draw, legend, etc. The last revision and reviewing the question paper, your answer paper, and checking if you have attempted all questions and all, that you can leave 15 minutes. Okay, now with the 4 section breakup, there is a catch. The same circular that we are here to discuss today speaks about these. Students will divide their answer book into 4 sections for social science. Answers to questions are to be written only within the space identified for the concerned section. It is always advisable in this case that the student begins with section A, then section B, then section C, then section D. Within the sections also, please discourage any order answering. Kindly encourage the students, advise them over and over again to follow the questions as they appear in the question paper. This means on top of the question paper, on top of the answer sheet, once they start with the writing pages, the student will write a heading, section A. In the left hand margin, they will write question numbers. Make sure they write question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, and so on, up to question 8. Then take a fresh side of the page, not continue on the same page, and write section B. When you write section A or section B, make sure you write section A history, section B geography, section C political science, section D economics. Make sure the students write that as a caption to the section on a fresh side each time. Secondly, questions should be in the order in which they appear on the question paper. CBSE follows a caging system. If the questions are missing, it becomes complicated for the evaluators to look for the answer and take it to the cage. It may lead to errors while CBSE is moving towards an error-free evaluation system. So it is very, very advisable for all the students to take on writing the section and attempting the questions in the order in which they appear. Look at point 3 on your screen. Replies of a section should not be written or mixed with any other section. So if a student has forgotten one of the questions in a particular section, they have to manage it within that section only. If question 1 to 8 go into another section or with another section or answered on the last page or something like that, they will not be evaluated. Did point 4. In case the replies are mixed, these will not be evaluated. This is a very, very dangerous line that is written. They are not going to evaluate, they are not going to give marks for it. And for making this gross error of mixing questions and sections, they are also stating in point number 5 that such mistakes will not be accepted or addressed even during verification and re-evaluation process when the results are declared. So this makes it very, very clear to us as teachers and to the students to whom we have to inform, advise and guide that the paper should be attempted in the order in which it appears. The section should be clearly mentioned and attempted separately. Divide the answer page only, answer booklet only into 4 sections, which you don't do at the beginning. You start writing section in a fresh side of the answer book, maybe a left hand page or a right hand page, whatever comes next as section B. Attempt section B and the next page becomes section C. Attempt section C and the next page becomes section D. The map should always be tied in the middle of the answer book. Also guide the students that our answer books are horizontal. So the map should face the evaluator and should be tied horizontally. If they keep a standing map, the map will tear. The map should be sleeping, tied horizontally. Jammu Kashmir going in the booklet, Kanyakumari coming on the flipping side. If the map is tied that way, only then is it easy for the map to stay intact and not tear. And it should always be in the middle of the answer book because it's tied with a thread. If it is at the end, it is likely to be pulled off or come off in transport when there are papers being bagged. It's possible that it could tear off. Therefore, students should be very, very careful when they are making their map attachments. Now, how to present the answers accurately? The do's and don'ts, some of them I have mentioned for you. Write section-wise on separate answer sheets. Do not mix answers from different sections. Label each question clearly as question 1, question 2. Do not waste time in writing unnecessarily long answers. Sometimes you see students write a 2-mark answer for a page. 2-mark answer is 40 words, maximum 5 lines. Or 6 at the most. 6 is also too much. 4 to 6, 5 lines should be enough. A 3-mark answer is 60 words. Never should it cross half a page. Half a page is more than enough. But a 5-mark answer is 120 words, which should normally be one entire side and a little more. That should be a 120-word answer ideally, because they have to properly explain that question. Headings and subheadings for long answers. I have told you for every optional question also they should write whether they are attempting A or B option. Give a title or a heading to the answer and then continue writing. Do not override, do not cancel. MCQs certainly do not cancel or override. They are given incorrect. There should be no cancellation and no overwriting in an MCQ. Then maintain proper margins and spacing. Now again here you have a left hand margin which is only to write question numbers and nothing else in the left hand margin. The right hand margin provided by the CBSE is for the evaluation team. It is not for students. So in case the students wish to write anything else in a margin, they can create their own left and right hand margins. It's not very difficult. No question should be left unattempted. It means every single question, all 38 questions must be attempted. It is always advisable to underline key terms and concepts in the answers, and the student should be guided to avoid writing any irrelevant information that is visible to them or that they think could be the correct answer. The answer should be well organized and written in good pointers. Write in points for better clarity. We are not a language subject. We are a social science where pointers give you objective answers. We discourage the use of essay writing formats. Word limits are important. They should not be ignored, because if the word limits are ignored, students will waste time writing unnecessary things in shorter answers and may not have enough time for the later sections. In case a question calls for a diagram or a flow chart or any such thing, students are welcome to do it. Formal language, key concepts, NCERT being our Bible, needs to be followed. Let the students refrain from writing answers from AI or answers from reference books and guidebooks. NCERT needs to be followed to the T. Questions you can refer to from whichever place you like, but answers should be based on NCERT content. One more time, we will quickly go over the master rubric for answer presentation, the word limits that we are expected to follow, very short answer questions for 2 marks, 40 words, specifically 2 distinct points. The answers don't need introductions and conclusions. Short answer questions for 3 marks are clearly given for 60 words. These could be 3 points with small subheadings in case there is a need, but these are also very clear categoric answers. Long answers, 5 marks, 120 words. If need be, the child can draw a flowchart, but 5 well explained points. It's very rare that they ask you for those paragraph kind of answers in 5 marks. But normally, generally we have seen 5 well explained points are expected, which is 1 page and a little more. And the case-based questions, 1, 1 and 2 marks, they are generally analytical, point-based answers. Normally they are not a lifting from the textbook or from the passage given. They have to understand and write. If it's just a lifting from the passage, it is not the ideal thing to do. So 5-minute speed audit for all of us as educators. When we are in the classroom also, we have to guide them to underline the key terms in their answers. And check if the map work is done with a pencil or a pen. Black ballpoint pen is advised on a map work. With clear labels in horizontal lines with a clear arrow, not crisscross of arrows, but clearly pointed arrows. Okay, a quick cheat sheet or an audit, Mark Leak audit sheet is what we caption it, but it's a cheat sheet. These are some general strategic errors that we normally see across schools. So it's a 1-section trap. We have already discussed that we need to spend 40 minutes per section. So for every 20 marks, you're getting 40 minutes. In case a student spends more than 40 minutes, like 60 minutes, then they are leaving little time, very little time for the later section. So they have to focus, they have to practice to write their answers in the particular section within the time frame provided. The student should be guided that you take only 40 minutes, sit with the clock in front of you, work for 40 minutes in a section. At the end of 40 minutes, leave that section and start the next section. Leave place if you haven't finished. Come back to it if time permits later. Incorrect question numbering. Now, if the questions are not numbered properly, it could lead to loss of marks. And that loss of marks could be very, very hefty. Because if question 4 is written and the answer is to question 5 or 6, it is understood that there is a mismatch in the question numbers and the answer is incorrect. Now, in case if that goes for a short or a long answer, you imagine the number of marks the student is going to lose out on. Just because the question number is incorrect. Also, we have to, like I mentioned, when you finish a section and you are starting a new section, you have to give that caption to the page, section B, geography, in bold letters. So the evaluator is also able to understand that now one section is done, we are moving to the second section. Paragraph fatigue, since we are not a language paper, we are a social science objective paper, objectively written points. For a longer answer, the 1:3:1 rule needs to be followed. 1 line of introduction, 5 bullet points in a 5 marker, 3 bullet points in a 3 marker, with subheaders, or if need be, like you have to write 5 points and describe them, you give a caption and describe the point, underline the point which is captioned. And 1 line of conclusion, because sometimes answers need inferences. There are questions which ask for agree or disagree, or arguments for and against, or analyze in a particular manner. So in those cases, students need to come with a definitive conclusion in their answers. The second is subject-specific pitfalls. So now history, normally students are seen to write vague chronology. They forget dates. So they write long time ago or long ago or after some time. So when was the civil disobedience march or civil disobedience movement started? A long time ago. So that's not an answer. That cannot get you any marks. In case this Dandi March comes for a full-fledged answer, they would be expected to write their date of 1930 there. It's something very common. Normally CBSE does not ask you for particular dates, but these are those rare occasions where, particularly in history, where chronology of events is mandatory. Now in MCQ also they could give you a sequence in chronological order. And they would give you 4 events. But if the student doesn't know the date is not in question, but putting the events in chronological order or sequencing them, what comes after which event, they would need to know the dates carefully. Then missing connectivity, like event, we need to know that non-cooperation was the movement before civil disobedience. Now non-cooperation is 1920. But before the non-cooperation, the student could not have reached non-cooperation without knowing about the Rowlatt Act, the Jallianwala, the Khilafat. These events would automatically come in before the non-cooperation in that chronological order. When you come to geography, now there are generic definitions like sustainable development. Now, if you didn't mention the Brundtland Commission for the definition because it's not asked, fine. But you have to mention a proper definition that judicious use of resources for the future generations, preserving it for the future generations, something of that kind needs to come in. Brundtland Commission report did not come, okay. If the Agenda 21 or Rio Summit did not come, fair enough. But the definition that the child writes needs to come in appropriately. However, CBSE has stopped generally asking students to define a particular term. But even writing in their own words, they need to use these keywords. And the map, now marking a dam or a city in the middle of the state instead of its precise geographic location is not allowed. Please stress as educators, as teachers, as guides on accuracy in map work, because 1 centimeter of map marking going incorrect is actually hundreds of kilometers on actual ground. Therefore, map marking should be absolute accurate by the student. Section C, political science. Now, certain legal or constitutional terminology is expected, which is definitely given in the NCERT textbooks. Jurisdiction, sovereignty, coalition governments. Now, in these cases, we do not expect students to use casual language. Wherever these terms are meant to be used, we expect the students to use actual terms. Now, of course, this pressure groups chapter is no longer a part of the syllabus, but you cannot ignore important examples. So if you are writing about a particular political party or the challenges to political parties or the outcomes of democracy, you need to give proper examples. And in section D, we have seen there are a lot of confusing terms, like students mix up GDP with per capita income, or formal and informal sectors of credit are mixed up. Even formal and informal sources are mixed up. Even sectors of the economy are mixed up. For the students, private, public, joint, ownership, partnership, everything is the same. So we need to categorically check on these concepts as educators, as teachers, as facilitators, and explain to them the difference in each concept using multiple pedagogical strategies in the classroom. Also, there is something that we notice: data neglect. Now, a passage that we may have given in the case study question or a case-based question may have certain data, but the students do not use that data in the answer. That could lead to a lot of mark reduction. It's very clear that if it is given in the table or in the passage, we are expecting them to give us an answer based on that data. Then map work, I have mentioned it time and again. Map work, we are expecting black pen for the map and blue pen we expect for the answers. Again, the CBSE in its admit card or the hall ticket as well as on the answer sheet mentions use of a royal blue or black ballpoint pen to answer the paper. And don't mess the labels. Guide the students to write horizontally in block capital letters, not to overwrite. So for example, they have marked Dandi in the map and above Dandi they want to label another place in Gujarat or Maharashtra. They should not overlap the marking of Dandi with another place label. They should make enough space or make a wise use of arrows to make their labels. They should draw horizontal lines, point with an arrow, make an exact dot and label it well. I do suggest use of color pencils to mark the map for locate and label. Locate with a color pencil and label with a black ballpoint pen. That makes the map look neat, and anything that is neat is eye-catching to the evaluators. So with this, I invite a lot of questions. I invite comments. I invite anything you wish to ask. And before we open the floor to questions and comments, I obviously would want to take a quick recap first. So like I showed you in the very initial slide, this circular of CBSE, which has 4 sections. You start on the first written page. And you will obviously be able to see section A is what you do. Take it in the order of the questions. Then the next blank side becomes section B. Give the heading and go to the questions in the order in which they appear. Then the next side of the answer sheet becomes section C, political science. After it is attempted, you start with section D, economics. For each section, give a heading. And like this, I had explained all the 4 sections, how many questions, what goes in which section. Somebody I can see is asking me the same things in the chat box that we have done today in the session. So I am just showing you a quick recap of how this question paper is going to look like based on the SQP that has been shared by CBSE. Okay. And time frame 40 minutes per section. Just give 5 minutes more to geography for that map work and keep 15 minutes to revise the paper. Keep this guideline very clearly in mind. Sections should not be mixed. Questions should not be split. You cannot mix one question with another section. It will not be evaluated and no queries on it will be entertained by the CBSE. Do's and don'ts, what to do, what not to do. The type of questions with word limits. And the leak sheet or the checklist of how students should be answering their questions. Okay, with this, I also happen to see that there are people who have been writing in the chat on various other topics. I just happen to see, will this presentation be shared for reference Galaxy, Lakshmi? It will be on YouTube tomorrow. How to attempt MCQs, Mangala Pramod. The student is expected to write question 1 in the margin. Outside the left hand margin, they would choose the option number. So maybe it was question 1A, and the answer, the entire option statement needs to be written with it. I hope that answers that question. How to attempt choice questions, Anjali ma'am, it is the same. Question 1 in the margin, outside the margin, option number, and the entire option statement. Please share the geography question breakup part. Aditi Gupta ma'am, I have just re-shown it, and it will be available on YouTube tomorrow morning. Okay, Betty PF, is there any question from project and periodic test topics in the history part? Okay, now the IDP is very categorically only given as IDP only, and periodic test topic is the age of industrialization, which they have said will come only for periodic test. However, PF4, which the students are attempting at the CBSE, is also a periodic test. Though we have no guarantee that they will not ask these questions, maybe there could be a simple question here and there. It is always advisable that students at least read through those chapters. Okay, Maya Anil Kumar. Students for MCQ, if the students write only option A or B, will the mark be given? No, CBSE does not give that mark. CBSE expects them to write option A or B with the option statement. Even a mismatch, suppose they chose option B and wrote the statement of option C, that mismatch is also marked incorrect. Yes, color pencils are absolutely allowed in map work. However, the official geography colors for color pencils are to be used. A red color pencil is never to be used. Okay, Asma ma'am, if marked in black pen on map, the marks will be provided. Map marking is normally with a black ballpoint pen. However, if you have otherwise any other doubt on the black pen issue, the student may even choose to attempt with the blue ballpoint pen. Okay, history and geography question breakup I have shared twice already. Aditi ma'am, if you still need it, I can reshare my screen. Otherwise, you can make the YouTube video pause tomorrow morning and take a screenshot. But I may reshare it if time permits. Okay, Bindu Thomas ma'am, should students start writing answers with section A, or can they start with any section as far as it is not mixed up? Section A must be started with. I have mentioned at least 2 to 3 times today. Follow the question paper in the order in which the questions appear. So it is understood that section A will appear first. Attempt section A, write there section A as a heading to the page. Write section A and then give the heading history, and then attempt question 1 to 9 in the order in which they appear. Identification of map items needs to be done on the map only. Guide the students not to do the map questions in the answer sheet at all. Gel pen is not permitted, LU Malai. Only ballpoint pen is permitted by CBSE. A Galaxy tab, this is till 8 o'clock. Do not, Devi M, students should not change the questions in the same section. Attempt the questions in the order in which they appear. Maya ma'am, from this year, 2026, short answers have become 60 words. They used to be 80, but now it has moved to 60. Vivo 2141, do not change the order of questions. Jaya ma'am, I changed all the slides, they were all visible. Okay, now I have something new on the chat. Yes, a lot of participants have raised their hands, and we'll move to the participants.
Kathy ma'am,
Yes, sir.
usually, people ask about about G20, whether it is included for the examination or something like that. They were questions.
Okay, G20 is not given in the curriculum, sir. G20 was given in the curriculum only the year when India presided over the G20.
And another question was like, when the sections were divided into four, there are people, talking about CBSE will give separate answer booklets.
No, sir. The circular that we have received, for which we are speaking today, CBSE Quad Social Science
Yeah,
2025, dated 9 December 2025, that circular very categorically states that the students will divide the answer book into 4 sections.
correct.
The board is not dividing it.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So I think the query is clear now.
Because one student may take more place to write, one student. Yes, hands raised here. 1 plus 2381. Please unmute 1 plus 2381.
And good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
It's regarding the case-based questions. How should
Okay.
we frame the questions? Like, do we have to frame the question in such a way that the answers are available in the paragraph itself or the extract itself?
Yes, the answer should be based on the paragraph, on the passage, but they should not be lifted directly from the passage.
So the answers are there, should be there in the extract. We have to frame the extract in such a way that the answers are there already, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And the second question is, ma'am, okay. And regarding the picture-based questions, will it come from the picture that are given in the book only, or we can like they can come up with any picture?
The picture could be from the book, it could be sourced from outside based on the concepts taught in the book.
Okay, and another the question is regarding the MCQ questions. Like I have found that
Okay.
few students, what they do is like they're confused. So what they do is they're confused in option A and B. So what they do is write the question number A, but write the answer of question number B. In that case, what happens? Like,
Then it is marked incorrect, sir. The option given and the statement of the option should match equally. They cannot be a
if
mismatch.
there is a mismatch, then the no numbers will be given, right?
No marks will be given for a mismatch.
And the last question, ma'am, will the students get any number for the introduction or conclusion? Like
No,
in
sir.
case of
No, there is
so
no additional mark awarded for introduction and conclusion, but
they
it
need to
is
be
advisable. It is in any case advisable that the student uses an introduction and a conclusion. It shows a logical way of answering the questions.
but no points will be given. So the marks will be given strictly on the basis of the points that should be there in the
Yes,
answer, right?
the marks are
Exactly.
normally on based on the content, but
Okay. And
presentation is important.
ma'am, I just need to confirm one thing because this is like I'm very new to this profession. I'm just understanding how things work out here. But ma'am, like this is like a case-based question. These are not English comprehension question, right? So it means all the three questions that I will be framing, the answers of all the three questions should be there in the paragraph itself. Like
They
that's
have
how
to
it
be
works.
based on the para. They have to be based on the para. Otherwise, what
No,
is
no,
the
no,
point?
no. It will be based on the paragraph, but will the answers be available in the paragraph itself?
They
Like if
have
they
to be based. So the
okay,
question that you are giving has to be based on the para. Otherwise, why are we giving the para? If the student can answer without the para, what is the point of giving the para?
got it, ma'am. Got it, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, then we can see another person, Janvi Joshi. Please unmute.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
My question is about the map. We have map question for history and geography both. So
Yes.
both the questions are to be attempted in the same map, or two different maps would be given to the children.
Only one map is provided. Both questions are attempted in the same map. Question 9 for history has two places already pre-marked on the map. And when they come to question 19, the question in the board sample question paper also states that on the same outline political map provided to you, locate and label the following.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. And you said that the map is to be attached somewhere in the middle.
Middle
So,
of the
what
answer.
is your what's your recommendation? Should it be attached after question 19? Would that be better?
That is up to the students, ma'am. They could do it anywhere where they are comfortable with and the map does not tear off.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay, the next person I think is Mrunal's iPhone.
Mrinal has on Samyak Jain.
Okay, Samyak Jain, please. Please unmute.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I am a student and I wanted to ask that in economics book, regularly like data changes over time.
Hmm.
So if we are required to answer the question according to the data, so what do we have to do in that case?
The latest textbook of 24-25, the latest textbook of 25-26 needs to be followed. That data.
Okay, ma'am. And on the second, like in history book, we have a error like uh, the birth year of Giuseppe Mazzini is shown to be 1805 and
Hmm.
in 931 Giuseppe Mazzini is shown to be of age 24. So mathematically it's incorrect. So what do we have to
Yes. So again, your teacher would have guided you to the correct dates. If not, please connect with your teacher and take the correct dates from your teacher.
Okay, ma'am. And on the last thing, in case the space for some section is too small and like we have to write more, so can we take an extra sheet and label it like section A history?
No, you cannot do that. The place for any section will never be small because you will have written one entire section before moving to another one.
Okay, ma'am.
So that means you will have comfortably fit in your particular section in the space that is available and then move to another one. So, and plus all your pages are pre-numbered. So if you add a page in between, it is not going to work. The board gives you another booklet as a supplementary page. They don't give you a single sheet like a school.
Okay, ma'am. Got it.
Yes, and every page is pre-numbered. So you cannot add or subtract in between. Am I answering that question clearly?
Yes, ma'am. And Kevin, ma'am,
Okay.
like,
Yes, sir.
is it not advisable, like, at the end of one section, to leave a little space for any insertion later? If there is no insertion at all, they can strike out that space, no?
Exactly what I mentioned in the session, sir, that the next section begins on a fresh side.
Correct. So
They don't
always
begin the
there
next
is a
section on
provision
the
of,
same page.
there is a chance of getting little space.
Yes, sir. But normally, when they leave lines, when they follow presentation guidelines, they would automatically have enough space. And when you go to see our content, it is absolutely minimal. They're asking for 2 points, 3 points, 5 points. And as I specified, even the page limit with the word limit, like a 2-mark answer, 40 words, not more than 4 to 5 lines.
Okay.
A 3-mark answer, 60 words, about half a page.
Okay.
And even after that, if you leave a line or two and move to the 5-mark answer, which would be one side and a little more. That's how we would go about getting answers. So there is enough place for the students to write as much as they want. But if they mix the questions within a section also, there is no guarantee that mixing questions will lead to marks. There is every possibility that the board may not evaluate the mixed questions.
So this point everybody has to take care. Moving to Balam Bal.
Yes, Balam Balar.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So in the I have some doubt in the map only, ma'am. The same
Yes,
political
ma'am.
and the same map, history map only. We are going to mark the geography also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. While marking, for example, while marking the last lifeline of the economy, airways and the waterways. For example, international airways of Delhi, they are asking Indira Gandhi Airport.
Yes.
We have to mark a dot or we have to mark a symbol of airways.
We prefer that they mark a symbol. They make an
Yes.
aeroplane kind of a symbol or an arrow or
Yes,
something.
ma'am.
But
Yes, ma'am.
normally we have seen that students even make a dot. Both are
Yes, that
accepted. CBSE is not deducting marks for not creating a symbol.
Yes, ma'am. That only a doubt because the students have to keep a dot. Some of them they doesn't know to draw some the aeroplanes.
Yes, so it's okay. They can even make a dot, but again, the question numbers have to be written with the symbol in the map
Map,
because
yes.
sometimes they don't write the question number, and it is difficult for the evaluator to know whether they were trying to mark the Indira Gandhi airport
Yes, ma'am.
or they were trying to mark something else.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Yes.
Okay, moving to Afshana Khatun. Afshana
Yes,
Khatun,
I'm
please
here. I'm here.
unmute.
Yes. Good
Yes,
evening, madam. My
good
question
evening.
is, we have just completed pre-board one, and I have found even after giving the instructions to the students that you have to write in all different sections and the questions have to go in order, I still found one or two students writing question number 8 first, that is case-based question first of history, and 7 later. Is it still allowed in the same section only? But question number 7 first and 8 first and the 7 later.
Please discourage that practice.
Mm-hmm.
Please be very firm in discouraging it.
Yes. But still,
And
like, even after saying, see, we have given the instructions for them already, even after giving such instruction, the still students are doing this. Will they
so
get the
at the
marks
school
or no?
level, yeah, ma'am, at the school level, I suggest you be strict and do not give marks to any one of the two questions.
Okay. So that is your
Do it once.
suggestion
Like
because,
we have done it. Yes, we have done it in our school this time in the pre-boards. If the student did not write option A or B, we have not evaluated the question.
okay.
If they chose to mix the sections or even write one question after another, the question that was not mentioned in order has been completely disregarded. So we have done that because at this late hour in the year, it is difficult to train the students when we will only be meeting them for the pre-board.
Yes,
So
exactly. No,
when we follow that,
including
it
that.
stays in their mind. When we follow that stern measure, it stays in their mind.
Yeah, ma'am, another connecting to the same question, because in the that board instruction also it was given, if the child misses the question, he can attempt the question at the end of the same section. So
That is
they
not
come up.
given. That instruction is not given in the circular.
Okay, fine then. We'll go on with that. Not to discourage them completely, not to encourage them to attempt or have any such kind of practice. All right, ma'am. That's
Absolutely.
it.
Yes, ma'am. Sabita BR. Please unmute.
Miss Sabida, you can unmute. Moving to Laksha.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, hello.
I have a MGNREGA. It has a revised name in this year, no? So do we need to add that
Sorry, I'm
to
not getting your question.
MG National? Hello? Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Laksha
Can you
ma'am.
hear
No,
me?
Sabita ma'am. Okay. Sabita ma'am. Okay, tell me.
Okay. Okay. I have a doubt about that MGNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act.
Okay.
It
It's
has a
now
revised
renamed
name,
as
no?
BBG Ramji.
BB.
It's
Okay,
now
BBG.
renamed as
Okay, students
BBG
need to.
Ramji.
Okay, that students need to write an exam.
It is advisable
When
that they write it, though I don't think it is a possibility to now ask them to rename it because it's been taught as Manrega. Maybe next year they could change it to
yeah.
VBG Ramji because the context within the VB scheme has changed. The
Okay.
original
Whenever the question
Manrega
arises,
scheme has
students
been
any.
changed. When they've taken it to VBG
Okay.
Ramji, they have changed the internal details of the scheme. So
Okay.
it is
So
better that
students
they
don't need to
stick to
attend the.
Manrega. It's better that they stick to Manrega, write about the Manrega, and at the end they can at the most write that now it is renamed as BBG Ramji.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Laksha,
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
good evening.
Ma'am, I'm a student. I have a doubt in the history third lesson, ma'am.
Okay.
For the board exam, do we have only the first part about the pre-modern world, or do we have the subsequent parts also?
The curriculum says Unit 1 only, my child.
Ma'am, then is it necessary for us to study the rest?
You should at least have read through it.
Okay, ma'am.
Reading through and gaining more knowledge is important.
Okay, ma'am. And then you said we have to attach the map in the middle of the booklet. So,
Yes.
should we give a separate number to the map, like a page number,
No,
or is it not?
no. You have to attach it only. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. IQ 00. IQ 00. Yes, please speak. IQ.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. After completing one section, that means all the 4 sections the child has completed, and if there are empty spaces after completing one section, should the child score out that space or leave as it is?
Either ways, ma'am, because if the place is empty, the evaluator will definitely be scoring it out.
So no issues in that.
No issues with that.
And third lesson, that globalization in the history.
Making of a global world.
Yeah, making of the global world. Should the children read the entire lesson or stick on only to
Unit
1
1, ma'am, Unit 1 is given in the curriculum. They can read through the rest of the lesson for knowledge.
So
because it speaks about, they would have done it for interdisciplinary project as a part of the Bretton Woods Twins.
Yeah, ma'am.
So the basic reading would be done and a basic understanding would also have been established.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Galaxy tab.
Hello.
Galaxy tab. Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am. This side Dharmendra from Panipat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. I am a SST teacher. But ma'am, actually, I have one query. Suppose that we teaching the SST in the history chapter. Only chapter number 2 having the like map-based questions. But on the other hand, we teach tout in geography. So we have to update a lot of the chapters, ma'am, like industrial park, airports, water bodies. So something specific chapters in geography for the map practice, ma'am. Actually, we have to 15 to 20 maps filled in the geography chapters, ma'am. It's a big exercise for students. But they are lot of confusing.
Okay, sir, CBSE has actually reduced the map content. In the previous years, we've been teaching 137 places for 5 marks.
Yeah,
now
ma'am.
you're
Actually,
only teaching around 15 maps. Not even 15. Fewer than
actually, ma'am,
15.
yeah, history securing the 2 marks in the map exercise and the 3 marks for the geography. But we have to a lot of work do for the 3 marks securing in the map exercise, ma'am. It's a big
So
problem
that
for
we
the
have
student.
to do. You cannot teach geography without having done the map. That is not
Ma'am,
possible.
Yeah, I am teaching the geography with the math, ma'am.
So when you have to teach geography, you're automatically teaching the map, sir. In which case you would have taught those places. Only thing is you have to give them a drill, a revision. A simpler way to do map revision is make them learn the common places. Like
Okay,
Ahmedabad,
ma'am.
Madras, Chauri Chaura,
Yeah, ma'am. Sorry,
then
Chaura,
even
Champaran,
Delhi.
like
There are a whole lot of common places in every state which keep coming every year. So if they know the common places, then they just have to learn a few other places.
Actually, ma'am, in history only for the like a Congress movements and the Gandhiji famous movement for the map work. But geography
Yes.
have a lot of map work,
Even
ma'am.
if
Like
it has a lot, I am telling you, sir, from 136 places, they have now moved down to around 60 places. It's
Okay,
less
ma'am.
than half the places that they now have to learn. And it's
So, ma'am,
not too much.
Yeah, ma'am, how can we get the data like 60 locations? Have you any link, something else? Can you provide me, ma'am?
The textbook is giving you those locations, and the curriculum for 2026 board exam is giving you a map list.
And same thing we can get from the CBSE website portal, ma'am?
Yes, sir. The CBSE website, academic website, go to curriculum, download
Yeah,
the
ma'am.
curriculum for grade 10 and grade 9. And at the end of the curriculum for each year, there is a map list provided.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind.
Welcome. Welcome. Okay, Anita Prasad. Please unmute Anita Prasad. Gajanan
Good
Khamkar.
evening, ma'am. Good
Good
evening, ma'am.
evening,
Anita
Anita.
Prasad speaking. Ma'am, I wanted to
Yes.
know how to solve this assertion and reasoning. Usually, students tend to lose up their marks in solving assertion and reasoning. They get confused. Is there any specific method to solve the question, ma'am?
So, for assertion and reasoning, a well-framed assertion and reasoning would be two different statements altogether, and the students have to figure out if the statements are true or false. That's the first step.
Yes.
And the second step is between assertion and reasoning, apply the word because and verify if the reason is the answering the assertion.
Yes.
So when they put because, they can automatically do it. But however, that works only in simple assertion and reasoning questions. In a well-framed assertion and reasoning question, this logic will not work. But generally, they can identify, they can establish if the statements are true and false, and then work on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Gajanan Khamkar. Please unmute Gajanan Khamkar.
No,
Sumit
sir.
Kumar. Okay. Who spoke? Gajanan Khamkar, please unmute.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, there is separate passing in each section or there is aggregate passing of 4 sections?
Aggregate passing of 4 sections to be 33%. 27 on 80.
Okay, ma'am. And marks will be display section wise or aggregate?
Marks will come section wise on the paper, sir.
Only paper, not informed to the students or to the school?
No, marks will be out of 80 and 20.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Sumit Kumar.
Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I'm calling from Doha, Qatar, Birla Public School.
Okay.
Ma'am, is there any calculation question can come like find BMI age and weight is given, or calculate the GDP or the per capita income?
Yes, it can come, ma'am. Sorry, it can come. They can give a table and they can give data and they can ask for calculation. Or they can ask it as an MCQ. Either ways, it is possible.
Okay.
BMI is possible, PCI is possible. Even filling in those tables given in the development chapter.
What about the students who are not having maths? SEN students, they have social but not maths.
They have social but not maths.
Because they are SEN.
So this is basic calculation. You're giving a formula and it's basic calculation. It's not difficult at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Nupur Raswant.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I have a few questions. One is that as the students are dividing the sections, they have to do the same subject in the same section. But in case they have done like part A of a question and now they want to do an extra question. So at the end of that same section, like history 6A, the child has done, but he wants to attempt 6B. At the end of history section, he or she, can they attempt 6B also?
No.
Will it be
Why
marked?
does the child want to attempt both the options when they have a choice between option A or B?
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
the
This is
child at the CBSE level year-end exam so not confident of himself or herself that they do not know which answer they know?
Ma'am, it is regarding the low performers I'm asking, because sometimes they feel I did not know, ma'am, so I did both. But
Okay,
is
so
it
then in
allowed
such case, let them do both at one after the other.
one after the other? Okay. Fine, ma'am. And then, ma'am, the map question in history, if they do it on the map, that is the main thing, I think. They have to mark the places A and B at the same place on the map.
Yes.
But in case the child did not mark on the map and wrote in the answer sheet,
They will not
will
be
that be
awarded marks. They
evaluated?
will not
No
be
marks.
awarded marks. No marks.
No marks. Okay.
The
And
question,
ma'am,
ma'am, the question very categorically says in the space provided on the map.
okay, yes, ma'am, that's what I've been telling them. Yeah. So, and ma'am, one more question, last one, that the map question they have to mark with the pen or a pencil for history
Pen.
and geography also? Black pen?
Black
Okay, it
pen
could
is
be black.
advised because the normal map work goes with a black ballpoint pen.
Okay, ma'am. So black ballpoint pen they should use. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes. Welcome. Okay. Nazhat Ara.
Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I have a doubt in economics that globalization, one chapter is there, ma'am. Global economy, one chapter is there,
Yes.
ma'am. In that, generally they say, what is globalization and impact of globalization? From that part only the question comes. But generally also some questions they have asked in the last year board exam, ma'am.
Yes. Every year they ask questions from that chapter which are not mentioned in the curriculum, and when they give you the captions in the curriculum, they automatically imply that you will be doing the entire chapter in class and the student will be studying. So without the causes of globalization, you can't study the impact. So it is
Yes, ma'am.
understood that you are teaching everything.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. And one more doubt, ma'am, I have for political science and for economics, while we are writing the answers, some questions like SHGs are there. So that kind of question has side headings also, ma'am. So can a child write with the side heading or like a points they have to mention, ma'am?
The points with the side headings, with the caption, yes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. History map also several people have asked, ma'am. In that map only, they will be giving one box. There they have to write the exact place.
Give
What
a
is this
blank.
place?
They give a blank. They will write A and put a dash. You see the sample question paper,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I have seen, ma'am. I have seen. But what we are doing is we are making the children to write in the answers sheet. So I was like, I have a doubt that whether that is like a printed map they will give on the paper answer script, or it can be a separate map they will give.
The map comes in the question paper. The student has to untie it from the question paper and attach it in the answer booklet.
Okay, ma'am. Fine. Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. That leaves us with Meena, ma'am. Meena, Miss Meena, please unmute. Pratigya Dubey.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
I
Meena.
wanted to ask question.
Your audio is blocked. You're muted now, Meena, ma'am. You're on mute.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I want to ask that geography map work. They are labeling, and then after there only they have to write the name of that place, or they have to make this index.
The name of the place they have to write there only with a wise use of arrows in a horizontal manner and not overlap with other map markings. And in the index, the key, the legend, whatever you call it, they have to make that again below.
Okay, index is also mandatory.
Yes, ma'am.
And one more thing, ma'am, that map you said in middle to be tied. So is there any specific after geography?
No, there is no
Or
specification
history they have
mentioned.
to tie?
There is no specification mentioned, ma'am. It has to be tied in the middle to keep it safe and secure so that it doesn't come out in the bundling and transport.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. Pratigya Dubey.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, for the index, when children make the legend, during that time they fail to write the question number. So shall we deduct marks for this, or they can be?
Absolutely, mark it incorrect if the question number is missing.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Xiaomi 22 whatever number. Xiaomi, please unmute.
Good evening,
Yes.
ma'am.
Good evening.
My question has already been addressed by another teacher who previously.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Pandiselvi Thangaraj. Pandiselvi Thangaraj.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
You said the students can use black pen in a black ballpoint pen in map, no, ma'am?
Yes.
Students can use
They
that
can.
black ballpoint pen in the answer sheet for the section subheading.
Yes, they can.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. And there is just one more hand raised. That is Vivek Nighojkar. And there's one more now. Vivek Nighojkar.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
First of all, thanks a lot for clearing all the doubts. Really thankful to you.
Yes, sir.
Really thankful to you for clearing all the doubts that we
Thank
had
you.
before
Thank
the
you so
session.
much. Thank
One
you
thing
so
I
much.
would like to ask, how should a student be molded to get good marks in SST? Because I'm teaching in a rural area wherein
Okay.
students are not paying attention to SST topic, SST subject. So how should I guide them?
All right. Could you tell me the state in which you are or the place where you
Maharashtra.
are?
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. Okay. And which part of Maharashtra, sir?
Pune.
Okay. So you're in the rural area of Pune or city Pune?
Rural area of Pune, Judnar.
Okay. So, sir, in that case, you can focus on competency-based questions. You can focus on concept-based questions and certain key concepts that are in all the 4 textbooks. You can
Okay.
change the pedagogy that you're using to storytelling and role play, which can create engagement and interest in the students.
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Great.
Thank
The
you,
last,
ma'am.
More audio
welcome. The
visuals,
last
right?
hand that we can still see, Betty PF.
Good evening,
Betty.
ma'am.
Good evening.
See, I have one doubt. If it is a 5 mark question, whether the student have to write a paragraph or whether they can write the 10 points for 5 mark question.
They write 5 well-explained points unless called to write a paragraph.
Okay. Paragraph is compulsory.
Points are compulsory unless the question says question demands a paragraph. Then they will write a paragraph. Otherwise, they will write 5 well-explained points for
5 or
one
more.
entire page and more.
Okay.
I hope that answers everyone's questions. There are no more hands raised. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, very well answered and guided. It was good learning, ma'am. Thank you so much. Lots of educators have, used this platform. Your presentation, you have prepared very well. Thank you so much, and presented very well also. It was crisp and clear. Point to the, to the core. And I don't think participants will have any more questions. They will not ask in the group as well. And this video is going to be a reference for everybody, because I think it is going to be rotated, circulated among schools and all. So this is a very good, guidance that you have given through this exclusive session for social science teachers. Lots of, educators are, uploading for your presentation and your guidance. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. So keep connected, everyone. We'll be coming up with a Kathy, ma'am, with another session useful for everybody as usual. So thank you so much. And once again, everybody, so keep connected. You can ask always, you can ask questions to Kathy ma'am. And she needs no introduction to everybody. She is the right person to answer all the questions related to social science or anything related to education, because she is a master trainer and resource person of CBSE. So thank you so much, ma'am. Let's hope we
Thank you.
can come up again with another, maybe next month or after that. All the very best to everybody, all the students and teachers. All great success is wished and prayed here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you once again. Good night. Good night all. Good night.
Good night.